Jesus walked among us. He was a carpenter, a teacher, a healer, but most of all, he was a man of love. Jesus loved everyone. He loved the poor and the sick. He loved the lost and the lonely. He loved you and me. Jesus came to earth to show us the way to God. He came to offer hope and forgiveness. He came to show us the power of love. Jesus traveled from town to town sharing his message of love. People flocked to him, drawn to his warmth and kindness. They felt his compassion, his deep understanding of their struggles. Jesus saw their pain, their fear, their doubt, and he offered them hope. His words were powerful, full of grace and truth. He spoke of a love that knew no bounds, a love that could heal the deepest wounds. He taught about forgiveness and compassion. He urged people to love one another as he loved them. His message resonated with the people. They were hungry for his words, for the hope he offered. They were touched by his love, his compassion. He was a beacon of light in a world often shrouded in darkness. One day, Jesus was walking through a village. A blind man sat by the road begging for alms. The man had never seen the beauty of the world, the faces of his loved ones. He lived in a world of darkness. Jesus stopped before the blind man. He felt compassion for him, for his plight. He reached out and touched the man's eyes. "Receive your sight," Jesus said. "Your faith has healed you." The blind man blinked. He could see the world around him, the faces of the people staring at him in amazement. He looked at Jesus, his heart overflowing with gratitude. He had been given a miracle. News of the healing spread like wildfire. People were astonished. They had heard of Jesus' miracles, but to witness one firsthand was awe-inspiring. The blind man's joy was contagious. He had been given a precious gift, the gift of sight. Another day, Jesus was preaching to a large crowd. It was getting late, and the people were hungry. They had been so captivated by Jesus' teachings that they had not brought any food. Jesus felt compassion for the crowd. He didn't want them to go hungry. He asked his disciples if they had any food. They found a young boy who had 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, but it was hardly enough to feed so many. Jesus took the meager offering and looked up to heaven. He gave thanks for the food, then he broke the bread and fish into pieces. He gave it to his disciples, who distributed it to the crowd. Miraculously, the food multiplied. There was enough to feed everyone, with baskets full of leftovers. The people were amazed. They had never witnessed such a miracle. Jesus had fed thousands with just a few loaves and fish. He had shown them the power of God's love and provision. He cared for their physical needs as much as their spiritual ones. Section 4. Water to Wine. Jesus was attending a wedding feast in Cana. The celebration was in full swing, but disaster struck. They ran out of wine. It was a major social faux pas, a cause for great embarrassment for the wedding host. Jesus' mother Mary told him about the predicament. She knew he could help. "Do whatever he tells you," she instructed the servants. Jesus saw the host's distress and decided to intervene. He instructed the servants to fill 6 large stone jars with water. Then he told them to draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet. When the master tasted the liquid, he was astonished. It was the finest wine he had ever tasted. He called the bridegroom aside. "Everyone serves the good wine first," he said. "You have saved the best wine until now." The guests were unaware of the miracle that had just transpired, but Jesus' disciples knew. They had witnessed his power firsthand. He had turned ordinary water into extraordinary wine. It was a sign of his divinity, his ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Section 5. A legacy of love. Jesus' miracles were not just about spectacle. They were about love. They were about showing compassion, offering hope, and revealing God's power. Each miracle touched the lives of those present, leaving an indelible mark on their hearts. The stories of Jesus' miracles spread far and wide. They inspired people, gave them hope, and drew them to his message of love and forgiveness. People were amazed by his power, but even more so, they were touched by his compassion. His miracles were a testament to his love for humanity. He healed the sick, fed the hungry, and comforted the grieving. He showed that God was not distant or uncaring, but present and active in their lives. The impact of Jesus' miracles continues to this day. They remind us of God's love, his power, and his willingness to intervene in our lives. They offer hope in times of despair, comfort in times of sorrow, and inspiration to live lives of love and compassion. Jesus' legacy of love lives on, passed down through generations, a beacon of light in a world hungry for hope.